Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into some incredibly fascinating insights from YangQian EdTech. We're looking at a topic that honestly touches pretty much anyone who's ever tried to pick up a new language, and that is using artificial intelligence to totally conquer language learning anxiety. We're going to explore exactly how AI is quite literally changing the game, making speaking practice easier, way more comfortable, and just highly effective for students all over the world.
Okay, let's dive into this. Have you ever felt that intense, pull-your-hair-out frustration where you totally understand the grammar, you've memorized literally hundreds of vocabulary words, and you absolutely ace the reading and writing tests, but the exact second you need to open your mouth and actually speak, you just freeze up? Well, you are definitely not alone. For a massive number of students, speaking is universally recognized as the absolute hardest part of language learning.
So let's look at why that is. When we actually break down the pain points of speaking, we see that they are intensely psychological. First off, there's this overwhelming fear of making pronunciation mistakes, right? Then there's the constant worry that other people in the room are going to laugh at you. Or on a more practical level, maybe you just don't have enough chances to actually practice speaking with teachers or classmates. And hey, even if you do try to practice on your own, you're often kind of unsure if what you're saying actually sounds natural. All of these hurdles combine into this giant wall of anxiety, causing students to feel incredibly nervous and ultimately just stay quiet.
To get past that wall, here is our roadmap for today's explainer. First, we'll look at the fear of speaking. Second, AI as a safe space. Third, why teachers still matter. And finally, 5 steps for success.
All right, Section 1, the fear of speaking. Let's talk about overcoming that anxiety.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the stark contrast between traditional learning environments and the modern AI experience. Think about a traditional classroom. The fear of embarrassment is super high, right? You're surrounded by your peers, and that heavy pressure to not make a mistake often leads to students just staying entirely quiet, totally burying their ideas. But flip over to the AI experience. Here, you can repeat the exact same sentence dozens of times. There is absolutely no judgment, you're not holding up the class, and nobody is listening in. It creates a completely different, much healthier psychological environment for you to learn in.
Moving right along to Section 2, AI as a safe space where you can practice anytime.
When we start bringing AI in as a speaking partner, the benefits are just immediately clear. I mean, back in the day, you needed a tutor or a very patient friend to practice with, but now you can practice anytime and anywhere. Whether you're chilling at home, sitting in the library, or just taking a quick 5-minute coffee break, you can record your voice, listen to model pronunciation, and get instant feedback. And you know, this reduces the pressure immensely, because confidence doesn't just magically appear out of nowhere, it grows through repetition. AI gives students that ultimate safe space to try, fail, correct themselves, and try again until they finally feel ready.
And guys, the feedback is incredibly precise. Think about confusing sounds for a second, like the th and the s, or putting the stress on the completely wrong part of a multisyllable word. These are those tiny, sneaky errors that students often can't even hear themselves making. You might totally think your pronunciation is flawless, but an AI app can listen to your voice and instantly pinpoint that specific phonetic struggle. So instead of just practicing blindly in the dark, you know exactly what tiny adjustments you need to make to nail it. But it goes way beyond just repeating single words. AI makes practice wonderfully interactive through role plays. You aren't just sitting there staring at a boring textbook, you're actually practicing real-life situations. You can simulate introducing yourself, ordering food at a busy restaurant, giving a short presentation, or even sweating through tough interview questions. Because you're engaging in these active back-and-forth dialogues over and over, you become genuinely prepared for actual real-world communication. It's a total game changer. Which brings us to Section 3, why teachers still matter. Let's talk about the human element. Before we get too carried away with all this amazing technology, we really have to recognize that AI is a supplementary tool. It's a safe space, sure, but it is not a complete replacement. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why. The limitations of AI are pretty obvious when you stack them up against the strengths of a human teacher. AI's feedback isn't perfect. It definitely struggles sometimes to understand diverse accents, it frequently misses vital cultural context, and it completely ignores human emotion, focusing way too much on just the mechanics of pronunciation. Teachers, on the flip side, bring that irreplaceable human element. They explain language within its proper context, they provide the emotional support that a screen simply cannot offer, and they use their professional judgment to help students use language meaningfully. So, the core philosophy we can take away from YangQian EdTech's research is this specific definition of AI in education.
It is not a replacement for people. Instead, think of it more like a personal speaking coach for the students and a useful classroom assistant for the teachers. It is perfectly designed to support human interaction, making learning more accessible, flexible, and engaging for everyone involved. It's the best of both worlds, really.
All right, section 4, 5 steps for success. Let's get you practicing.
So how do we actually implement all of this? Here is a super clear roadmap of 5 exact steps you can start using today. Step 1, choose one goal. Don't try to boil the ocean and master everything at once. Pick just pronunciation or just fluency to start. Step 2, practice for a short time daily. So the crucial point is that 10 minutes of daily speaking practice is far, far better than one exhausting hours-long session once a month. Step 3, listen to the feedback carefully. Seriously, don't just glance at the score. Actually understand what needs fixing. Step 4, repeat and compare your recordings so you can literally hear your own progress. And step 5, absolutely the most important one, use your AI practice together with real communication.
Because ultimately, as this awesome quote reminds us, speaking a language is not about being perfect. It is about expressing ideas, connecting with people, and building confidence step by step. AI is just the tool that helps you bridge that gap. It moves you from silence to practice, but it's your own courage that takes you from that practice into genuine communication. AI is simply your bridge to the real world.
Which leaves us with one final inspiring thought to ponder as we wrap up this explainer. The technology is here, the safe space is waiting for you, and the pressure is totally off. So, how will you use AI as a bridge to build real human connections? Thank you so much for joining me today, and happy learning.